Hello, I'm John Proxy, I'm from John West. I'm having a Danganronpa 2. Goodbye, Despair Adventure, and I forgot to save the last episode, so I just had to skip through an hour's worth of dialogue, and it means I haven't spent those coins anymore. But that chime just now.
What is most important for living things?
Food?
Well, personally, I think time is. I mean, your bank account may go up and down, but time will inevitably run out, right? That's why we gotta cherish time. There is nothing more wasteful than wasting time. So, time's up.
Very suspicious.
We will begin the last class trial, so please gather at Monokuma Rock.
So it looks like we're going to be doing this trial twice as well. So which makes me think I shouldn't really worry about guessing. I will though. Like, we don't have nearly enough information.
I'll see you soon.
Like, I have no idea from the evidence. The last class trial. You said that right? He said last class trial.
Yep.
I heard it too. He really did say it was the last class trial. What do you think? Should we believe him? Hang on, we've got a title for the episode, don't we? Monokuma seemed anxious about the Monokuma timer earlier, right? 2 more days? He said something about the killing school trip ending, right? Based on the time limit, this might definitely be the last one.
But still...
But I can't imagine it's the real end. Huh? I think Monokuma's real plan might be just beyond that. His real plan? Is Monokuma still planning to make us do something? What could that be? Do I have sound? Do I have volume? I do. Maybe after putting us through all this, he's planning to kill the remaining survivors all at once.
Well?
But still, it's also not a good idea to think about it too much. I think we should focus on the class trial that's waiting for us first. You're right. I'll make my decision. A class trial for Nagato's murder. We're pretty screwed. Yeah, I'll make my decision after the lift. I haven't collected my thoughts because I was so focused on this file. And of course, that imposter. The whole idea of the imposter makes no sense. You know, no. The imposter's fine. The fact that the imposter has no information on him makes no sense. What are your accolades? None. So you're not an imposter then? No, I'm a great imposter. That sounds like an accolade to me. No, that's my ultimate ability. Who have you imposted? I can't tell you. They're my accolades. Are you male or female? I can't tell you. Like, how do they know to accept the right person? I could have gone up to them and told them I'm the ultimate imposter. They have no way of checking. Still, I can't see who killed Nagato.
But still...
Well, you don't have to worry so much. Huh?
Right?
I mean, we're not fighting this alone, you know. You're right. You're absolutely right. We're not alone. Even if it's a mystery that can't be solved alone. As long as everyone cooperates and works together. Yeah. If we do that, things will turn out fine. Went the wrong way, didn't I? Monokuma Rock!
Damn right.
Looks like everyone's here.
Huh?
Is this it? Shouldn't there be more people?
Damn it.
Stop it. You're making me depressed.
Stupid fool!
You're making me depressed!
So,
is it going to happen again? The cruel conflict where we must doubt our friends. But once we're through this, we can go back, right?
That's right.
That Monokuma bastard said so, didn't he? He said this is the last class trial.
Damn it.
But we've been tricked every step of the way. There's no way I can believe that so easily.
Of course not.
Why can't you believe it? The guy who's making us do all this is the one saying it, you know?
You know, right?
That's why I'll definitely survive. He was on my survivors list for ages. If we can really go home after we deal with this class trial,
That's right.
I'll definitely find out who the killer is, no matter what. Even if I have to pull out all the stops. What the fuck? Why are you here? You haven't realized it yet. The feeling of wanting to leave this this island, thinking like that is Monokuma's trap, you know?
Huh?
What are you saying?
Got it?
There's no way Monokuma will end things here. He's planning something far worse. Now stop trying to jinx us.
I'll pick you up.
Damn right, stupid rabbit should just shut up. Why can't she say anything? Everyone, you mustn't run away from despair. Huh? I finally realized, after losing my powers, I realized that cursing your powerlessness of your fate accomplishes nothing. The possibility may be small, but as long as there's a possibility, you must face it. In order to become someone who can be proud of yourself. So I will fight.
Huh?
What's her deal? I do not really know, but she seems different from before. Maybe she read a self-help book.
Wait.
But her eyes, she looked so determined, she did.
You...
What can you tell by just looking at those button eyes? Anyway, make sure you turn off Minimaru. It'd be annoying if he started talking during the trial. Fine.
But still.
Somehow, I understand what Monami is saying. I think. Anyway, let's get going to the last class trial.
Yep.
You're right. We need to fight this as much as we can. No matter what hopeless truth awaits us in the end. You know, I said that in such a way that there was another line coming, and there wasn't. So... this is the end. I kept saying those words to myself over and over and over within my mind. I entered Monokuma Rock.
Yeah.
This elevator ride. This will be the last time for this too, right? I hope so.
Well,
Let's worry about things after we've finished.
you are right.
More importantly, you must focus on the class trial before us.
Damn it.
The killer managed to kill someone like Nagato. There's no way this is going to go smoothly. I mean, I still can't believe one of us was able to do that. Nagato was problematic in many ways, but he was also a valuable asset during the trials. I mean, we've got time to spare. This is the long-lived ride. Yeah, you're right. In fact, during the Funhouse ordeal, we were completely dependent on him. But even if he's gone, the ones who survived need to stand and fight. We must fight. And then the door slowly opened. The bright light greeting us. Is that the light of hope? Or the light of despair? The light of that bear.
Well now.
Well now. Now that the chatterbox Nagato is gone, there are only 6 of you left.
Shut the hell up!
Enough! Just fucking start this already.
Hey!
This is it, right? This is really the last class trial, right?
Yep.
Sure is. So you gotta show some enthusiasm. Make sure you give it your all.
All right!
Didn't I tell you? He said it. This is the end.
Now then.
Let's get this trial started.
Viva killing!
This is the last class trial. Let's show some enthusiasm and kill each other. This is the 5th class trial. According to Monokuma, this is also the last class trial. The curtain is about to rise. Nagato Komaeda, the ultimate lucky student. When I first met him, I thought he was a nice guy. He came across as very sociable. Actually, I'll let you see it. It was a long time since we've seen that. But his true nature held such a demented thought process that was nothing like his outward appearance. He said he believed in hope more than anything else. He said he was yearning for a powerful hope that can overcome any despair. He said he would even help despair just to prove hope will never lose to despair. He said he'd become a stepping stone for hope. His way of thinking was completely screwed up. But there were also times he saved us too. Someone like him was killed. That was the end of him. I have no idea who did it. No idea at all, but... there's no way we can end this without knowing. We will be consumed by despair. That's why we absolutely have to find out. The person who finished off Nagato. The killer who murdered Nagato. In order to return from this despair alive, we need to reach the truth. If Monokuma says this is really the last class trial, that's all the more reason we need to do this. And so, with this life-threatening trial billowing with hope and despair, the last one has begun. Yes, I do, because I forgot to save it last time. Right, so this is where I make the guess. But my guess is there is a K6, and it's the same case again. They did it in the first game, which means we're going to have a false person. So I'm guessing the false execution. Not the person who I really think did it, but who the game is going to blame. That one, but because I don't know. I think it doesn't say how he died. Not only is there a spear stabbed in his stomach, there are multiple stab wounds on each of his thighs. There's a laceration on his left arm and a knife impaled through his right hand. I think he stabbed himself in the leg. I don't know why. So the rope was tied to his arm and burned off. This means the rope was burned before attached to him? See that he stabbed himself with a knife. The knife are all his wounds. So that's the proof there. Why does it have a cord with an iron weight? What does that even mean? Cord with an iron weight at the end extends from the back to the handle. For some reason, only the section with the cord and weight touch is bloody. Yeah, there's a hand grip. Yeah, there is. Right there. There's a bit where somebody's held it. But I don't actually see who got bloody from that. So that says the spear went through it as well. Okay, so I know that's to cover up his screaming. All these are to do with the fire. Somebody threw in the lighter to fake the fire, but it's not true. So Monami can prove she was there. He knew the bombs were fake. I don't know. I just legitimately have no idea. See, this is all to do with the poison, right? I don't know about the... Maybe that's to cover up the poison? Highly potent, takes effect immediately. Volatility is low, it's very dangerous when vaporized. So this is why I thought he might be using it for something else other than poison. So I don't know how he'd vaporize it. I mean, I get it, he vapes, but in a gaseous state, it is heavier than air. Okay, so one of the profiles is fake, but one of the profiles has no information on it. So that whole imposter could be fake as well. Or... hang on, I'm trying to figure out. Could the imposter still be alive and pretending to be someone else? And then Byakuya is somehow... No, that doesn't make any sense. Alright, let's go in. I don't know. I legitimately have no idea. Let's guess that the princess will get blamed for it. That's my final answer. Princess. She's the only one with any evidence pointing her in her direction. Like, it's usually not the first person. So... if we are going to make it equal to the first game, Chiaki would get blamed. So let's say Chiaki gets blamed, but she's not going to die. But she will get blamed. Let's say, final answer, Chiaki. I mean, I'll change my answer during the trial. But, you know, this prep is when I say, according to my own rules, is when I get to say I called it, right? So I say final answer, Chiaki. And even if I change my mind during the trial, and change it back, what counts is what I said in court prep. Final answer, Chiaki will get blamed. I'm based on no information. Okay, fine.
Now then, let's begin with a simple explanation of the class trial. During the class trial, you will present your arguments for who the killer is and vote for who done it. If you vote correctly, then only the blackened will receive punishment. But if you pick the wrong person, I'll punish everyone besides the blackened, and that person will earn the right to leave this island.
I did consider Monami and Monokuma as suspects as well, so maybe I should have gone with that.
Oh my! Monami? My cute little sister? You're awfully quiet. What's happened to you? You've ascended the ladder of adulthood and reached the moon? Because you're a rabbit? Chesto!
It's a classic. Oh.
One more time! Jeez! How about this one? This will be my final blow! It's useless.
Please stop! I feel bad for Monomi.
You're right. Now's not the time for me to horse around with Monomi. The class trial has started, after all. The victim this time is Nagito, who is attempting to reveal the traitor for everyone's sake. Who in the world killed him? I'm so curious.
If he was killed for trying to reveal the traitor,
Yeah. This is why I thought... I should have went with Princess, damn it. It's too late, I said Jackie, but...
that traitor is obviously the killer. They were trying to shut Nagito up.
No, that might not be it.
Huh? Are you trying to protect the traitor? They didn't call out when we were in danger. Wait. Don't tell me you're the traitor.
Don't say something so stupid! There's no way in hell I'm the traitor!
Now that's more like it. Why don't you guys hurry and start arguing already?
The traitor and the killer who murdered Nagito is here, right? Are they the same person? Or... Okay.
The killer didn't tape Nagito's mouth to shut him up. I'm telling you, they were torturing him.
The reason Nagito's body was covered with wounds.
It's because the killer tortured Nagito.
So that's why he was so beat up. What were they trying to find out by torturing him? Definitely the bomb's hiding place. If so, the suspect is whoever found the bomb first.
That was Fuyuhiko.
I found it by coincidence. There's no way I'd torture someone.
Why did the killer torture Nagito? No. Were the wounds on Nagito's body really caused by torture in the first place?
The killer didn't tape Nagito's mouth to shut him up. I'm telling you, they were torturing him.
The reason Nagito's body was covered with wounds.
It's because the killer tortured Nagito.
So that's why he was so beat up. What were they trying to find out by torturing him? Definitely the bomb's hiding place. If so, the suspect is whoever found the bomb first.
That was Fuyuhiko.
I found it by coincidence. There's no way I'd torture someone.
Okay.
The killer didn't tape Nagito's mouth to shut him up. I'm telling you, they were torturing him.
The reason Nagito's body was covered with wounds.
It's because the killer tortured Nagito.
Okay.
Crap! The killer didn't tape Nagito's mouth to shut him up. I'm telling you, they were torturing him.
The reason Nagito's body was covered with wounds.
Oh, yes!
It's because the killer tortured Nagito.
No, that's wrong.
He couldn't talk during blood spatter.
But Nagito's mouth was covered with duct tape, so he wouldn't have been able to confess anything. If he was being tortured for information, they wouldn't have taped his mouth like that.
I'm prepared. Ah, I just realized it. It's a trap.
Trap?
Stupid Hajime. You got caught in that trap.
Stupid. Okay.
Like you said, if Nagito's mouth was taped shut, you obviously assume he couldn't talk, right? But that was the trap. They wanted to hide the fact that he got interrogated.
Kazuchi seems unusually confident. I should ask him why
Like
that
you
is.
said, if Nagito's mouth was taped shut, you obviously assume he couldn't talk, right? But that was the trap. They wanted to hide the fact that he got interrogated. Like you said, if Nagito's mouth was taped shut, you obviously assume he couldn't talk, right? But that was the trap. They wanted to hide the fact that he got interrogated.
I can't back down!
Okay, blood spatter. I need blood
But
spatter.
if you tape his mouth shut, how is he supposed to answer anything?
Pay attention, this is how it went down. First, the killer tortured Nagito and got information about the bomb's location. Then, after they killed him, they duct taped his mouth shut. Whew, that was close, you guys. Thanks to me, you guys didn't get caught in the trap. Pay attention, this is how it went. First, the killer tortured Nagito and got information about the bomb's location. Then, after they killed him,
Oh crap!
Damn it!
like you said, if Nagito's mouth was taped, you obviously assume he couldn't talk. But that was the trap. They wanted to hide the fact that he got interrogated.
But if you tape his mouth shut, how is he supposed to answer anything?
Pay attention, this is how it went down. First, the killer tortured Nagito and got information about the bomb's location. Then, after they killed him,
Allow me to cut through those words! No, there's no doubt Nagito's mouth was covered with duct tape before he was beat up.
what did you say?
Who cares about the duct tape? We might as well settle this with rock, paper, scissors.
We don't need to play a game. It's clear the duct tape was on his mouth before the torture even began.
Why couldn't you say that before?
Why do you always side with Hajime? Do you have a crush on him or something?
You in elementary school or something?
You were with us when I peeled the duct tape off Nagito's mouth, right? The blood on Nagito's face wasn't under the duct tape, remember?
The blood on his face came from his arm wounds. Which means the duct tape was on his face before his arms were even wounded.
And the duct tape had a lot of crinkles around his mouth. He must have been struggling to open his mouth under the duct tape.
Perhaps the duct tape was used so we wouldn't be able to scream. Then it's like I said at the beginning. The tape wasn't for torture. It was to keep his mouth shut.
However, if they wanted to seal his mouth, they did not need to hurt him with such ferocity.
They probably had a deep grudge against Nagito.
Then, are you saying the killer was trying to make him suffer?
If so, it's friggin' crazy. Did they go psycho or something?
No, they didn't just go crazy. Whoever did this must be one crafty bastard. If not, they wouldn't have taken the time to set fire to the crime scene and destroy all the evidence.
The warehouse fire was for destroying evidence?
You can't think of any other reason.
But who could have done that? When the fire occurred, everyone in this room was gathered in front of the warehouse.
Yeah. And right after I opened the warehouse door, the flames started burning from the very back.
So it was triggered from the Monokumas.
Which means, it is plausible to think that nobody here set the fire.
The killer isn't one of us. But that's not the case, huh? I mean, it's wishful thinking.
Even if it was only a coincidence, the timing was just too perfect.
Based on the pattern up until now, we should suspect that some kind of setup was used for this.
Oh, I should have bet on the princess. Why didn't I bet on the princess? Because I thought the game was going to try and be clever and point somewhere else.
Some kind of setup? Like what?
I do not know that, but that has been the pattern before.
Like, I even had a theory, which was the princess was angry that Gundam died and he was disrespectful. I don't know.
That's on, Miss Sonia. You have such an amazing.
But like,
high
we've known
intellect.
that Kazuchi and Sonia's gonna do something.
Alrighty then. Let's think about this based on what Miss Sonia thinks. Is that okay, Miss Sonia?
Damn right it is!
Reason for the fire, huh? Never mind, we need to clear up that first. Now, they're going to say the lighter, but I don't think it's a lighter. So the random... Right.
The direct cause of the fire was... the oil lighter found at the crime scene, right?
The killer used some kind of setup. He lit the curtain on fire with the lighter.
Some kind of setup?
Did they use the oil as an improvised fuse?
They probably just threw the lighter.
Based on the shape of that oil lighter, it can stand upright while the flame is lit.
If they tipped over the lighter in some way, it could have ignited the curtain.
Some way?
Maybe they used invisible thread.
There should have been a way to tip it over with sound waves.
Or perhaps opening the door caused...
Crap!
The direct cause of the fire was... the oil lighter found at the crime scene.
The killer used some... He lit the curtain on fire.
Some kind of setup?
Did they use the oil?
They probably just based on the shape of... it can stand up
If they tipped over, it could have ignited.
some way.
Maybe they used invisible...
There should have been a way to tip it over with...
Or perhaps opening the door caused...
I agree with that. I also agree that opening the door is what started the fire.
Just as I thought, it was the wind pressure! A dust devil blown here from glorious Japan!
No, not wind pressure. They probably used the Monokuma panels.
I'm really angry with myself for not going with the obvious guess.
A huge number of tipped-over Monokuma panels were found at the crime scene, right? It looked like they were scattered everywhere, but some were laying on top of each other in a single line. Just a single line leading from the warehouse door to the fire's origin.
Does that mean anything?
The killer probably arranged those Monokuma panels to create a domino effect.
A domino effect. You mean those tiles kids play with by lining them up and tipping them over?
Yes.
In place of those tiles, the killer used the Monokuma panels. So when we opened the warehouse door, the first panel toppled into the second. And from there, they fell like dominoes until they reached the lighter at the end.
But wouldn't it be obvious that those big panels were falling over?
That's probably why they turned off the lights in the warehouse, so we wouldn't notice them.
So the reason the warehouse was dark was to hide the domino effect.
And one more thing. There was something else the killer did to hide the domino effect, right?
The MP3 player.
I see! You're talking about the MP3 player, right? That hymn blaring throughout the warehouse masked the sound of the falling panels.
Okay. The inside of the warehouse felt even darker because of our eyes were still used to the bright light outside. Within that darkness, a loud hymnal blared throughout the warehouse at full volume.
That's it. So the strange sound was actually the sound of the panels falling.
But those sounds weren't the only strange thing, right? Looking back on it, it was also strange when we opened the door to the warehouse.
It's fine, I'll open it slowly. No, that's not the problem. Yeah, she couldn't open the door.
Ah, so the door was being blocked by a Monokuma panel.
How heavy are these panels?
And when we opened the door, the domino effect started, and the falling panels eventually reached the lighter. Yeah, and that's how the warehouse caught on fire. At least, that's how it looks.
You don't look so sure.
At the time, Akane mentioned that she could barely open the door.
Because the panel was blocking it, right?
But the blocked doorway, there wasn't enough space for a person to fit through, right?
Is that a problem?
It's a major problem. I mean, that door was the only entrance to the warehouse.
That's a good point. I never considered that. Yeah, somebody needed to set it up and leave. So the domino effect must have happened the other way around. If that door was the only entrance to the warehouse, I cease. Killer couldn't have left.
I see!
The locked door problem that we never knew about.
If the panel was so close to the door that it could barely be opened, the killer inside the warehouse wouldn't be able to leave, right?
Now that you mention it.
I really wish I said princess. Like, even if the answer's wrong, I just feel really like, why did I let go of my most obvious answer?
Does that mean they were hiding inside?
Like, bear in mind that even if it turns out to be someone else, I'm still guessing on who gets executed. But still.
Who? We were all outside the warehouse, you know.
Based on the patterns up until now, I believe some kind of setup was used.
This was so suspicious right here.
You don't have to think so hard. There's actually only one person who could have possibly done this.
Nagita.
You don't mean...
But if that's true, this murder...
Hajime? What do you mean?
The person who set up the domino effect inside the warehouse. There's only one person who could have done that.
This is my answer! What if it was Nagito?
Why'd you bring him up? He's the victim, you know.
He wasn't just the victim. Maybe.
Huh?
Not just the victim? What does that mean?
He was the victim. And he was the perpetrator, too. Maybe.
Ah, so the false killer... Ah, okay. Well, as long as it's not the princess, I won't be grumpy about it. It makes sense because it still pairs with the first game. Because if Nagito also, Jackie and Nagito count as our Kyokos, and Kyoko got blamed, see? And then I got blamed. Which makes sense, because Nagito is the main character. Yeah, you know, it makes sense.
Are you saying this was a suicide? Don't be stupid. His body was covered in torture wounds. Or did you already forget? Are you saying those were all self-inflicted?
But Nagito might do something like that, don't you think?
That's not the issue. He was tied up, remember? Even for a creep like Nagito, it'd be impossible for him to tie up his own arms and legs.
Yeah, you're right.
Yeah, as long as you understand.
It seems we need to discuss how Nagito was able to tie himself up.
Need to discuss? That's not necessary at all. No matter how much you think about it, it's clearly impossible.
Like you said, it seems impossible if you think about it, but I feel like I'm overlooking something.
To actually tie up your own arms and legs. That's obviously impossible!
Tying just the legs is one thing, but tying both arms would be impossible.
You couldn't do much with the free arm.
It'd be impossible if you were by yourself.
How about if you use your teeth? Or if you use your front tail?
Dirty joke! Is that a dirty joke?
To actually tie up your own arms and legs. That's obviously impossible!
Tying just the legs is one. Tying both arms would be impossible.
You couldn't do much with the free arm.
It'd be impossible if you were by yourself.
How about if you use your...
Dirty joke! Is that a dirty joke?
To actually tie up your own arms and...
No, that's wrong!
No, that's wrong!
Hold on a sec. Isn't that premise flawed?
What? I mean, it's no mistake that his arms and legs were...
No, it shouldn't have been both of his arms. The rope on his right arm was completely burnt up. Based on that, you can't say he was tied up.
That was just burned by the fire. He should have been tied up before then.
It burned because of the fire. Like you said, it might look like that. But that was part of the trap. There's concrete evidence that proves it.
Right sleeve.
I see!
Take a close look at his right sleeve. Even though the rope was burnt up, his sleeve wasn't burned at all. Wouldn't you agree? A burn like this, no matter how you think about it, is unnatural. That rope was burned in advance so it would look like it was burned in the fire.
Then Nagito's right arm wasn't tied up, right? He was able to move it freely, right?
Yeah, that should be the case.
Hajime, that's awesome! I'll let you cop a feel if you want.
I feel like you just want him to anyway, because you keep offering.
Akane, you should not give it away for free. Make sure they pay you first.
No, that's worse. That's worse, Sonia.
That's definitely wrong.
Fine. I just gotta get a Benjamin from him before I let him touch me, right?
No, don't do that.
That's not what I meant. I'm talking about Nagito. I mean, even if his right hand wasn't tied up, the knife was still stabbed into it, you know?
It's impossible to stab a knife into your right hand with your right hand. Ah, that much is obvious.
No, you just have to clap it. It would be impossible. So.
Hajime, you tricked me! Give me back that Benjamin!
Didn't give you a Benjamin. Not only did she charge me, but she wants the money back. What the heck?
Hold on. There should be a way.
Then hurry up and spill it.
If it's something lame, I'll make you give back the Benjamin with 10,000% interest.
Never gave you money. A way to stab yourself in the right hand using only your right hand. It's okay. There's definitely an answer for this. Monokuma plushie?
Even if Nagito's right hand was free, how could he stab his right hand with his right hand?
If he threw the knife into the air and let the knife fall, could he stab his hand that way?
That sounds stupid.
Is he a throwing knife expert?
Maybe he propped the knife somehow?
I agree with that. The life-size Monokuma plushie. He must have used that to prop the knife.
Makes sense. That's why there was a big hole in the plushie's stomach. He inserted the knife handle into that hole to prop it up. Then he slammed his hand onto it. If that's it, he had to place the plushie near him. And it also explains the mysterious blood on the plushie.
So the blood on the plushie came from Nagito after he stabbed the knife into his own right hand.
I see. So that's the trick.
But for a moment, I seriously thought Monokuma died or something.
A bleeding plushie is super scary. It's got the same fear factor as a doll whose hair grows too long.
What?
After stabbing his hand, he no longer needed the plushie, so he cast it off toward the fire's origin point.
He probably thought the fire would incinerate it and destroy the evidence.
So what do you think now, Fuyuhiko?
I get what you're saying about the wound on his right hand, but there's still one huge problem. The spear. Basically, you're saying Nagito committed suicide by impaling himself with a spear, right?
Yeah, he held... Okay. I thought he stabbed himself... He still might have stabbed himself in the leg lots. He held it as a counterweight. That's why there's blood on the banister.
If you think about the order, getting killed by the spear should have been the last thing to happen to Nagito. If that's true, how is that possible? He can't grab a spear with his right hand if a knife is stabbed into it and his left hand was all tied up.
Then he probably took the spear first, And as he endured the pain, he stabbed the knife into his right hand.
There is a limit to his constitution.
I mean, it's gotta be pretty fucking high, considering he stabbed his legs lots.
If you got penetrated by something so big and thick, you would die instantly.
I'm sorry, I didn't catch all that.
Like I said, if you got penetrated by something so big and thick, you would die instantly.
Say it one more time. I need you recorded. For reasons.
Hey, bastard, you better cut it out!
Like she said, in that condition, it's very difficult to stab yourself with a spear. It'd be hard to use a spear with a knife stabbed into your right hand while your left hand is tied up.
So you're saying it's impossible?
No, it was a counterweight.
But no matter what I think, I can't believe Nagito's death was caused by someone else.
I also agree with that. To think that one of us could kill someone with such cruelty, I could never believe that.
You say you can't believe it? You just don't want to believe it, right? But that's why you keep getting betrayed over and over again, right? Same goes for this time, too.
You just shut your mouth. It's against the rules to interfere with everyone. If you even think about doing anything, I have a plan of my own.
Monome's sassing me.
But it's just as Monokuma said. We've been betrayed over and over again so far. So this might also be the same. Calling this a suicide takes too much for granted, and it's too convenient.
Then are you saying there is a killer among us, Kazuichi?
Kazuichi. I've been saying his name wrong all this time. Kazuichi.
Of course that doesn't include Miss Sonia and me.
I've been calling him Kazuchi. Kazuichi.
As Kazuichi said, it's true we've been constantly betrayed. But even if I'm betrayed again, I still want to believe in everyone.
So I'm trying to wait for a natural pause point to end the episode.
No matter how many times I may be betrayed, I still want to believe in everyone.
I also want to believe that there's no killer. But suicide is unimaginable.
Do you really think so?
But you said it too. It'd be impossible for him to stab himself with a spear in his condition.
I did say difficult, but I never said impossible.
Huh?
I feel that there's some way he could have stabbed himself with that spear.
What kind of way?
I don't know.
You don't know.
It's impossible to figure out by myself. So let's think about it together. That's how we made it this far up till now.
Everyone working together.
She's right. We've made it through several ordeals up to now by doing that. Then, even now.
Alright, let's do this.
On the next episode. I've been John Foxy on channel John West. I've been having a Danganronpa. Goodbye Despair? 2 Adventure. I'll see you guys next time. Thank you. Thank you for watching.